Our search for the best compact cordless reciprocating saw led us to two distinct categories, one-handed and two-handed. These two classes of saws represent the most comfortable cutting experience, trading off cutting speed and power for lighter weight and less vibration. Two-handed models are more closely related to standard saws. They sometimes shift from an inline design and angle the secondary handle down to shorten the tool. This helps guide the blade into tight spaces. One-handed compact cordless reciprocating saws share a common design where the motor turns up from the body, shortening the overall length but without reducing the overall height much. These models are a great choice for HVAC, plumbers, irrigation specialists, electricians, and even landscapers who use them for pruning. Between the two, we expect higher performance from the two-handed saws and a more comfortable cut from the one-handed group. Makita's subcompact reciprocating saw dominated the two-handed group. It cut slightly slower than DeWalt's compact model and has a clear advantage in vibration control and overall size. When you need solid cutting performance in tight spots, Makita is your go-to saw. Milwaukee's M18 Fuel Hacksaw takes a close win over Kobolt's 24-volt one-handed reciprocating saw. Milwaukee Tool's major advantage comes in vibration control, while Kobalt is a little smaller and a bit better on the value side. DeWalt put together a beast of a compact reciprocating saw with the DCS 367, making it the fastest cutter in its class. What it gains in speed, however, it loses in vibration control. With Makita right on its heels for speed, it's a trade-off you'll want to carefully consider. Ridgid's Octane one-handed saw put on a clinic in our speed tests. As the only compact reciprocating saw in either class that includes orbital action, Ridgid clearly doesn't want you to be limited to just cutting EMT or PVC. Often, when you want to use a compact recip saw, you're cutting in places that are less than ideal. That makes vibration control even more important. Makita takes full advantage of this with a significant lead in the two-handed class. If, however, you're using the saw with just one hand, well, it better not vibrate the feeling out of it. Milwaukee seems to get this better than anyone else in the one-handed class, making their M18 Fuel Hacksaw one of the most comfortable to use. Makita finishes with a slight advantage over Skil in the overall size race. Skil has the weight advantage, better than 1.5 pounds lighter than Makita, but Makita's saw is nearly 4 inches shorter than Skil. The one-handed class is much simpler to sort out. Metabo's model is both the lightest and the shortest. It has a little competition from Makita on the weight and healthy advantage over the entire field in length. It's no surprise to find Skil at the top of the value rankings. In the two-handed class, they crush the competition with an $80 bare tool and a $90 one-battery kit. You give up higher cutting speeds, but its competition is nowhere near that price. Kobolt's 24-volt line has been quietly impressing us with its performance across the board. They're also an outstanding value. The 24-volt one-handed reciprocating saw costs just $99 for the bare tool, and if you're not already on Kobolt's battery system, a 4 amp-hour battery and charger will run a little over $100 more. Now, we tested these two classes of saws a little bit differently, based on what they're designed to cut. In all of our tests, we use a 5-pound weight to ensure each saw got the same amount of downforce. For the two-handed models, we averaged how long it took to cut through pressure-treated 2x10 pine embedded with 5 16D galvanized nails. Each saw was equipped with a brand new Lennox demolition carbide-tipped blade. These 6 TPI blades last up to 6 times longer than standard Lennox bimetal blades. You can pick them up in 6, 9, or 12-inch lengths from your favorite Lennox dealer. DeWalt had the fastest average cutting speed in our nail-embedded wood test, and it was followed very closely by Makita. The second test for the two-handed class was cutting 3/4-inch EMT. For this one, we turned to the Lennox Laser 18 TPI bimetal blades. DeWalt enjoys a little bit of breathing room over Makita in EMT cutting, getting through our test in just 1.17 seconds. For the one-handed saws, we used the same 3/4-inch EMT test, but substituted a 3-inch PVC cutting test for the nail-embedded wood. We used Lennox Laser 18 TPI blades for both of these tests. We didn't perform any wood tests with the one-handers, simply because these are primarily plumbing, electrical, and irrigation tools, and generally they're not very good wood cutters. Kobalt and Ridgid set themselves apart as the only one-handed saws to break 2 seconds in our EMT cutting test. On the other hand, Ridgid takes over the lead from Kobalt in PVC cutting, where it averaged nearly a full second advantage. Bosch also snuck in ahead of Kobalt to take second place in this test. Vibration ended up being a more subjective test. With all of our test materials readily available, we sent out a team of 3, one at a time, to cut to their heart's content. Each tester then ranked each compact reciprocating saw on a 1 to 4 scale. Once we had our 3 independent results, we tallied them up and averaged them out. The higher the number, the better the vibration control. Makita enjoys a big advantage over this skill in the two-handed class, with both of the tools outclassing DeWalt. For the one-handed saws, things were a little bit closer, but Milwaukee still had a significant lead over the rest of the field. Bosch made a very strong showing in second place, scoring a very respectable 87 points. Generally speaking, the more compact you get in the cordless reciprocating saw game, the less emphasis we place on features. Here's what we look for across the board and which models have them. Brushless motor. Pivoting, tool-free adjustable shoe. Blade release lever. Spring blade ejection. While DeWalt and Makita go for a kind of squash design, Skills model is a traditional inline format on a bit of a smaller scale. Makita's XRJ01 doesn't look anything like most of the one-handed reciprocating saws in our test. Its combination of shortened length and dual triggers gives you a ton of flexibility in how you use it. For two-handed compact reciprocating saws, you won't find any shorter than Makita. At just 12.4 inches in length, it's not only the shortest two-handed model, but it's also shorter than any of the one-handed saws as well. If you're looking for more of a lightweight design, turn to Skill. Their 20-volt compact model weighs over 1.5 pounds less than all of its two-handed competitors. Both one-handed categories are led by Metabo. For length, it leads Kobalt by a small margin, being only 5/8 inch shorter. Only Milwaukee joins them in breaking the 14-inch mark. Now, Metabo has got some stiff competition when it comes to weight. Makita is lighter as a bare tool and only 1/10 of a pound heavier with its 5 amp hour battery than Metabo is with a 2 amp hour pack. Take the pricing, performance, and features, toss them in our magical algorithm with things like warranty and depth of line, and you get what we call value at Pro Tool Reviews. For the two-handed saws, Skill's price is so much lower than DeWalt and Makita that it earns the highest value rating of the class, even though it does have a little bit lower cutting speed. If you're looking for the best value in a compact cordless reciprocating saw with a one-handed design, Kobalt is the way to go. Their 24-volt line is performing very well, and the pricing structure makes it awfully affordable and a good option for DIYers. After a valiant effort from all the tools we tested, we've tallied the points and calculated our final results and recommendations. We've tested a lot more reciprocating saws, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also tap that bell so you can get notifications when our next video publishes. Until then, thanks for watching.